Mashle. Is it a watch or a pass? This anime is about a boy, Mash. He loves cream puffs and has super strength for some reason. He lives in a magical society wherein everyone can do magic, everyone except Mash. For that reason, his dad keeps him away from society. So they live in the wilderness. He's adopted, by the way. Mash spends his day by working out and training his muscles, whom he named. Yes, he named his muscles and talks to them. One day he goes to town to buy cream puffs, defying his dad. People notice he doesn't have a mark on his face. Everyone has a mark in this world. It shows a person's ability to do magic. So the police chase him. The authorities end up in Mash's house, but he's not there. His dad is, though, and is interrogated. To protect his son, he didn't talk. In this world, they eliminate people not born with magic. Mash sees this and fights with them. They underestimate him because it is assumed that someone that can't use magic is helpless against a magic user. Despite this, he manages to beat up two of them. The officer casts a spell that would trap even a dragon. Mash deflects this like it was nothing. He destroys the officer's wand. The officer, Brad Coleman, is so impressed with Mash's brute physical strength that he offers him a deal. He sees great potential in Mash and a great opportunity. He asks Mash to go to Easton Magic Academy and become a divine visionary. Being a divine visionary means you become an elite magician. Divine visionaries are held in high regard in this society. The corrupt officer would get Mash's earnings as a divine visionary, but he won't be going after Mash and his dad. Mash agrees. And so Mash begins his life in the magic school as a student with no ability whatsoever to do magic. He gets a fake marking on his face to hide his lack of magic. Since his dad hid him from society, he's had no experience with people. This is the first time he gets an opportunity to meet friends and enemies. Every step of the way, he's met a douchey elite mage that likes to show off by bullying weaker mages. And that's where the fun begins. As with other animes, the battles are awesome. So Mashle, first of all, is a goofy comedy. The show doesn't take itself seriously, and it works. Most of the time, it's just Mash being himself, doing dumb things like dedicating his whole life around cream puffs. He's pretty simple, like not smart. It's hard for him to understand complicated ideas. The catch is he's super strong, and he somehow gets through situations with just that. Mash is really similar to One Punch Man. He's got the same vibes as Saitama, because he acts dumb. Some insecure people look at him as an easy target, and then he puts them in their place without using any magic, just sheer physical strength. And since people without magic are viewed as weak, it just doubles the satisfaction when he beats them to a pulp. Mash's battles are great and satisfying to watch, but the other battles, not so much. Magic versus magic fights here aren't that good. They're far from the Hokage fights in Naruto. The show's fights shine when magic is overcome with a proper punch. When Mash isn't fighting, he spends time with his friends. He doesn't talk much, so his friends do most of the talking. They hang out and goof around. So there's Finn. He's the brother of a respected divine visionary. But he's not very confident in himself and is quite cowardly in tough situations. He always freaks out when Mash decides to fight someone. There's Lemon. At first, she tried to sabotage Mash's admission to the school. As directed by a professor that hated Mash, Lemon eventually falls in love with him and joins his group. There's Dot. He claimed that he's the protagonist of the story, that is, the main character. He hated Mash because Lemon is attracted to him, but some events made Dot an admirer of Mash. So there's a weird love triangle going on there. And finally, there's Lance. Lance fought with Mash, but when he saw that Mash was a decent guy who prioritized saving his friends, he decided to stick around that group. Lance is a gifted magician with 2 marks on his face. The more marks you have, the stronger your magical capability is. Lance is a bit creepy, though. He's obsessed with his sister. The story is fine. Mash needs to become a divine visionary so the authorities won't hound his family. How he does that in a world of magic is the interesting part. Many people here don't like the idea of someone succeeding without magic, so there's no shortage of students trying to bring down Mash. Good thing he has his friends and Wahlberg, the headmaster of the academy. You see, Wahlberg likes Mash's personality and view of the world, and he's giving him an opportunity to prove that non-magic folks could win, but that could upset the world order, and even divine visionaries will test Mash. As I mentioned, the show focuses on comedy, and they succeed in that. It is funny and fun, but don't be surprised when you see over-the-top, ridiculous stuff in the battles. Even for anime. Those didn't bother me. There's just one thing though, Mash flying. You'll know it when you see it. That's the one thing that disturbs me in this anime. I just don't buy it. But that's just me. One more thing, I like the hip-hop music here. It reminds me of Samurai Champloo. It gives this anime those cool vibes, which add to the atmosphere. So is Mashle a watch or a pass? It's a watch. You know, there is another anime just like this. Some guy that can't use magic trying to rise up in a world dominated by magic in a magic academy. It's called Wisteria, Wand, and Sword. And I'm going to review that next. So subscribe to see that video when it's out. See ya, and thanks for watching.